Just as we were able to create a subform, add into another form, and we do with a report. We can create a sub-report to place inside another report. The first step is to create the report that will act as the sub-report. Now, ideally, a report and a sub-report work best where the report holds a main table data and the sub-report holds the sub-table data. In our case, what would be appropriate is a customers report with a sub-report showing the sales. We already have a customers report, the RPT customers all. What we now need is a sales report that we can then place that inside our customers report. So the first step is to go to create a blank report. We don't need the wizard anymore, do we? Design view. We attach this report using the property sheet to our TBL sales, which then gives us access to existing fields, which is only 4. In our report, we need to close off the group and sort. Let's bring the details section up much narrower. And we'll add the sales value, the date, and in essence, we don't really need the client because we'll see who the client is because this will be inside the main report. Prove we've got the right client, we'll pull that in as well. Into the detail section, what we're then going to do is arrange and tabulate to get access to do the tidying up for me, really. Otherwise, I would have to cut and paste all these labels, and then I'm going to remove the layout so that I've got a little bit more control. So it is a very tiny report. And one thing you do have to bear in mind when creating a sub-report that you know is going to act as a sub-report, and that is that the page headers and the page footers will be totally ignored because this report will be inside another report, and it's the other report's pagination that takes over. So if you need headers, as we have here, they would need to go in the report header. So let's right-click and activate the report header and move these 3 labels by selecting them and just dragging them into the report header. So the page footer is not required, and at the moment the report footer is not required. Let's preview that, and we get all the sales data just listed and listed and listed with the sales value, sales date, and the client. We then save this report. A bit like the forms, if I know this is going to be a sub-report, I would prefix it as sub-RPT sales. Okay, and that appears in our list over here as a valid report. I can then close my report and open up the RPT customers all. Now the easiest way to add in a sub-report is in design, make a little bit of room. So I'm going to place my sub-report here in the details section by grabbing it from the reports list, dragging it into my report and letting go. Now we do get a label, which I don't need. So I'm going to delete that and then just tidy up the report so I can see all of it. Print preview. And you can see it works. I see Eugenie Huang's sales, Christy, Elizabeth, Julio, Janet, they don't have any. And in fact, there's quite a big section of people that do not have any sales until I meet some more. But they've all been given the same amount of gap. If I go back into design, that's made this box large. What I should do is resize this box very, very small, so small that you can hardly see it. Bring up the footer bar as well. Then when I go to print preview, it's not using the space up between each of the records, but when it needs it, it expands as we see here for the first person sales. And if you click through until you get some more sales, there we go, quite a batch there. Each of these have a single sale, so the report expands at that stage to show us the single sale. And if someone had bought more than one item, the box would expand enough to show all of them. So that's a sub-report. You create the sub-report first on its own. It's not going to let me open that because it's already open here. Let's do a save as. F12 is your save as keyboard shortcut. RPT customers with sub-report. Okay. I can close that. That then allows me to open the sub-report on its own. So you need to create that report first. So the sub-report must already exist. Then you can drag that into an existing report. So you can see how that brings in the values as and when they are required. For the addition of the sub-report into the detail section, so that it filters out itself by each current record, and then make it so narrow that if there is no data, there is nothing taken up in the master report. Otherwise, you end up with really big spaces and the report wastes more paper. Should a join not be created between your sub-report and your master, which shouldn't happen, but occasionally it might, then you need to select your sub-report, visit the property sheet, data, make sure that there is a link between the master and the child. You can click into either of these and click the three dots, open on the wizard, and you can see from here you can actually tell it which master field, so which field in the main report will link to the field in the sub-report so that it's filtering correctly for the sub-report's data.